Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH underscore sports. Few things. I just did a video on Rumble the other day. I talked about Aaron Rodgers and the media. Has nothing to deal with sports cards. I give my opinion. Obviously, some people will not agree. But if you still want to listen to that, I do those type of videos now on Rumble, and I avoid those type of topics on YouTube. I focus mainly on sports cards and economics here on this channel. Alrighty, so just one card that I got the other day, 2003 Net Pro number 11, Roger Federer, International Series, PSA 9. Okay, so I told you about my Hall of Fame strategy, and I'm looking for individuals that are going to be the Hall of Fame in their sport, and it may not happen probably for the next 5 to 7 years when they're inducted to the Hall of Fame, but at the end of the day, they're still going to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm willing to wait on some of these guys. Some of the cards that I get, try to make a quick buck right away, but mainly what my original goal when I got into sports cards is to invest and buy and hold for long periods of time. I hit my price targets though in a few years, and I'm just repeating what I did. And this card, PSA 9, sold for about 100 some bucks, more than $100 at the peak last year. And now I got it under 30 bucks. I consider that a victory. Now, it was even cheaper a few weeks before I bought it because tennis was in the off season. So, yeah, I'm eyeing those type of cards that were low key and not too much attention. And, if you get a 70% haircut and it costs less than 40 bucks, I consider 40 bucks. If it's less than 40 bucks, that's a victory because the cost of grading at least costs 40 bucks if the cost of grading is about $10, but we won't see that for a few years. Right now we're still at the cheapest. You can pay 50 if you're a member of PSA, but not everyone's a member, so it is what it is. Okay, so the topic that I'm getting into today is regarding the YouTube All-Star Flippers. A lot of them were making money hand over fist in 2020 and 2021. And you saw a lot of content on YouTube. And granted, I liked some of the content they produced on YouTube. As I've mentioned, I learned a few tricks from them, try to find the best raw card, pay a premium to PSA, and then they grade it. And as long as if it's a 9 or a 10, with the arbitrage, you can make quite a bit of money. I made about a 50% return on my Federer card, 2003 Net Pro 1 out of 2000. That was a good call on my part. Sometimes it didn't work, but I found that strategy very interesting. Now, because PSA hasn't fully opened back up, that arbitrage strategy has gone through the window. And now that it's gone through the window, some of these YouTube All Stars, they're no longer posting content, and I want to see what they're up to, but you don't see it when things aren't as hot as they were in 2020 and parts of 2021. Now, I believe some of these guys are still involved in sports cards. They go to the shows, they buy some really nice cards still. So it looks like they still have money, but they're not on YouTube anymore. I just find that quite interesting. And I was talking to Don the other day. Make sure to watch that video if you haven't. And we're talking about the gold and silver YouTube community, which really isn't there anymore. And there are a lot of reasons why that fell apart. Obviously, there was a topping pattern in 2011. Now, gold and silver have come back up, but the channels are no longer there. Part of the reason why those channels aren't there, I have my channel there too, but I don't post that much content. Is a lot of the content was demonetized. That's part of it. Secondly, a lot of people got frustrated. Three, some people, as Don alluded to, couldn't pump and dump, or they went in for nefarious reasons. And four, some of them were completely banned off of YouTube for getting into some topics, and that involved the letter Q. Last year, they were kicked off. Some people talked about the election of last year and they were kicked off. And now some of them are on Rumble, some of them are on BitChute, some of them have their own websites, but you don't see many of these guys around. Now, I don't expect YouTube, the sports card YouTubers, to get kicked off because they're not getting into those type of those type of topics. But what I do find as a similarity is that the market right now is slowly heading south. Okay. Now, the high end is on fire. Don't get me wrong about that. Now, we shall see how will potential three interest rate hikes, how will that impact the high end? I would definitely love to see it. Is it going to be like the 1970s, where it doesn't matter with the rate hikes, where collectibles are still on fire, or is it going to be what I came up with the video saying that the high end is going to get trashed? We shall see. I do believe, though, the rate of return on some of these high end collectibles, people are not going to like the returns that they're going to get. The sellers, though, are going to be the big winners, in my opinion. Unless, suppose someone bought a high end Tom Brady card and he wins another Super Bowl or even two Super Bowls. It sounds crazy, but what if he does? Okay, Tom Brady cards are going to go insane. And I wouldn't be crazy. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to see some of the card values of Brady sell more than what Mickey Mantle cards have sold for. I think one Mickey Mantle card sold for over $5 million. I would not be surprised if Brady wins another Super Bowl. It's all about expectations. But for mostly every other card, if the player does not exceed expectations, then where are they going to get the rate of return? And I once again talked to Don about this, and I said, "Hey, people are buying LaMelo Ball cards for $242,000. It was just one scarce card. So you have this card that of a rookie. You don't know how he's going to be in the next 10 years. You don't know if he's going to be the next Michael Jordan. Probability is very low. And then on top of it, Michael Jordan won 6 titles, and his Fleer 86 card never got over 200 some $1,000 until the pandemic with easy money from the Fed, and everyone was locked down in their homes. Okay, so big difference. So, in my opinion, prices are still overvalued on the high end. They're not going to get the great rate of return. Once again, for sellers, I still believe this is a decent market if they bought low. But going back to these all-star flippers, YouTube all-star flippers. Now, suppose the market does gradually go lower, as Don alluded to in the video yesterday. He still thinks it's overvalued as well. Suppose it goes down as well. Are we going to see less content creation from these guys? That's the question I would like to know. The thing is, if things get rough, I think more people are going to get agitated and thus, or frustrated, just like I saw in the gold and silver community, and they're not going to do videos. And I don't think there's going to be a demonetization problem like there was in that community. Over here, no, I don't see that. But more frustration, less content. I've noticed that I'm getting more than a few hundred views now. Usually my goal was to get close to 100 views and I would call that a victory. Now, sometimes I could get that within a few hours. So it's just quite interesting because less people are creating content. Now, coming up in the next few months, I'm not going to be doing as much content. as I'm probably going to be back in the office a couple days a week. Since what, November, we've been told to work from home because of the new Transformer variant. But yeah, so I'm going to be going probably downtown Chicago, and I'm not going to be able to do my videos as much. But so that's why I'm taking advantage of the time that I have right now to do these videos. So people may say, hey, you're not doing as many videos and you're talking about these YouTube All-Star flippers not doing content. And I'm going to respond with what I'm saying here. I'm not going to have the time to do so. I wake up at 4 a.m., 4:20, so I'll be exhausted. I don't want to do those videos. But regardless, what do you guys think about this? Did you notice, or do you notice that there's less content creation from some of the guys that we all like watching, and you see this trend continuing? And if things get even worse, do you see less content creation? I do see, on the other hand, some individuals are just putting out content left and right, and that's pretty amazing. You know, they come up with the content, putting themselves out there. I may not necessarily agree with what they're saying, but good for them. I think for me, this is a hobby now, so I'm addicted to it. But in terms of other people, they may do it for other reasons. Who knows? And they may do it for in terms of their hobby too. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below, guys. Thanks. Bye.